Have you ever dreamed of having all the money you could ever want? Imagine waking up one day and finding your bank account overflowing with cash. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, what if I told you there's a secret technique that could make this dream a reality? It's not about working harder, getting lucky, or winning the lottery. It's about using the power of your mind in a very special way. Today we're going to dive deep into Neville Goddard's secret money manifestation technique. This method has the potential to completely change how you think about money and transform your financial life forever. Now you might be wondering, who is Neville Goddard and why should I listen to him? Don't worry, we'll get to that soon. But first, let's talk about why this technique is so important and why you need to pay close attention to every word in this video. Here's the thing. If you don't learn and apply this technique, you might find yourself stuck in the same financial rut you've been in for years. You know that feeling when you check your bank account and your heart sinks, or when you have to say no to something you really want because you can't afford it? That's what happens when we don't take control of our financial destiny. But here's the exciting part. If you use this technique correctly, you could see big changes in your bank account. We're talking about the kind of changes that could let you buy that dream house, take that luxury vacation, or quit the job you hate to pursue your passion. Are you ready to learn something that could make you much, much richer? Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds too good to be true. If it's so easy, why isn't everyone doing it? That's a great question, and the answer is simple. Most people don't know about this technique, and even those who do often don't apply it consistently. But that's where you're going to be different. You're here, ready to learn, and I'm going to show you exactly how to make this work for you. Before we dive into the technique itself, let's talk about the man behind it, Neville Goddard. Born in 1905 in Barbados, Goddard wasn't always a spiritual teacher. In fact, he started his career as a dancer and actor. But he had a deep curiosity about the nature of reality and the power of the human mind. Goddard became famous for his teachings about the law of attraction and the power of imagination. But he wasn't just another self-help guru. His ideas were deeply rooted in spiritual and metaphysical concepts. He believed that our imagination was not just a tool for daydreaming, but a powerful force that could shape our reality. What set Goddard apart from other teachers was his focus on the practical application of these spiritual principles. He didn't just talk about abstract concepts. He gave people real techniques they could use to change their lives. And one of the most powerful techniques he taught was his method for manifesting money. Goddard's teachings were based on the idea that our outer world is a reflection of our inner thoughts and beliefs. In other words, what we experience in our daily lives, including our financial situation, is a direct result of what's going on in our minds. This might sound strange at first, but think about it. Haven't you noticed that people who always talk about being broke tend to stay broke, while those who believe in abundance often seem to attract money? So what's the core idea behind Goddard's money manifestation technique? It's actually pretty simple. What you think about a lot becomes your reality. If you constantly think about being poor, guess what? You'll probably stay poor. But if you can train your mind to truly believe you're wealthy, you'll start to see changes in your financial situation. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I already think about being rich all the time. I daydream about winning the lottery or getting a huge raise. Why hasn't it worked for me? Here's the key difference. Goddard's technique isn't just about thinking or wishing, it's about feeling. You need to not only think about having more money, but you need to truly feel as if you already have all the money you want. This is where most people go wrong. They think about money, but they think about it from a place of lack. They focus on the bills they can't pay, the things they can't afford, the stress of not having enough. But Goddard's technique flips this on its head. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, you need to fully immerse yourself in the feeling of already having abundant wealth. It's like the difference between watching a movie about someone eating a delicious meal and actually tasting that meal yourself. Just thinking about money isn't enough. You need to engage all your senses and emotions in the experience of being wealthy. This might sound a bit strange or even silly at first. After all, how can you feel rich when your bank account says otherwise? But that's exactly the point. Goddard believed that our physical reality follows our mental and emotional state. By creating a vivid, emotional experience of wealth in your mind, you're setting the stage for that wealth to manifest in your physical reality. Think of it like planting a seed. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You trust that if you've planted it correctly and continue to water and nurture it, it will eventually sprout and grow into a plant. Goddard's technique is like planting a seed of wealth in your mind. You need to nurture it with your thoughts and emotions, trusting that it will eventually manifest in your life. But here's the really exciting part. Unlike a physical seed that takes months to grow, the seeds you plant in your mind can sometimes sprout surprisingly quickly. Many people who have used this technique report seeing changes in their financial situation within days or weeks of starting the practice. Of course, this doesn't mean you'll wake up tomorrow with $1 million under your pillow. The universe doesn't usually work that way, but you might find yourself suddenly inspired with a great money-making idea, or you might run into an old friend who offers you a lucrative business opportunity, or you might discover a skill you didn't know you had that turns out to be very valuable. The key is to be open to these opportunities when they come. Remember, the goal isn't just to make money appear out of thin air, although some people claim that can happen too. The goal is to shift your entire relationship with money and abundance. When you do that, you'll start to see opportunities for wealth that were always there, but that you were too focused on lack to notice before. Now, I know all of this might sound a bit abstract or woo-woo to some of you. Maybe you're more of a practical, down-to-earth person who likes concrete steps and logical explanations. Don't worry, we're going to break down this technique into very specific, actionable steps that anyone can follow. And we'll also talk about why it works from a psychological and even scientific perspective. But before we get into the nitty-gritty details of how to do this technique, I want to emphasize something really important. This is not about magical thinking or denying reality. Goddard's technique is not an excuse to ignore your bills or make irresponsible financial decisions. It's a tool to change your mindset and open yourself up to greater abundance. You still need to take practical actions in the real world to improve your financial situation. The difference is that with this technique, you'll be taking those actions from a place of abundance and possibility rather than scarcity and limitation. So, are you ready to learn exactly how to do this powerful money manifestation technique? Are you ready to transform your financial life and step into a new reality of wealth and abundance? Great! In the next section, we're going to break down the technique step by step so you can start using it right away. Get ready to unlock the secret to financial freedom that most people will never know. Now that we understand the basic idea behind Neville Goddard's money manifestation technique, let's break it down into simple steps that you can start using right away. Remember, the key here is consistency and belief. Even if it feels strange at first, stick with it. Many people have found that this technique can lead to amazing results. Step 1. Find a quiet place. First things first, you need to find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed. This could be your bedroom, a cozy corner in your living room, or even a peaceful spot in nature if you prefer. The important thing is that you feel relaxed and safe in this space. You want to be able to focus without any distractions. Once you're in your quiet space, sit or lie down in a comfortable position. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Feel the tension leaving your body with each exhale. You might want to do a quick body scan, relaxing each part of your body from your toes up to the top of your head. The more relaxed you are, the more effective this technique will be. Now comes the fun part. With your eyes still closed, start to imagine that you already have all the money you want. Really let your imagination run wild here. What does your life look like now that you're wealthy? Maybe you're living in your dream home, driving your favorite car, or traveling to exotic locations. Perhaps you're running a successful business or donating to causes you care about. This step is crucial. It's not enough to just visualize these things, you need to feel them. Feel the excitement of checking your bank account and seeing a huge balance. Experience the relief of knowing all your bills are paid and you have plenty left over. Enjoy the sense of security and freedom that comes with financial abundance. The more real and vivid you can make these feelings, the more powerful this technique becomes. To really make this work, engage all your senses. What do you see in your wealthy life? What sounds do you hear? Maybe it's the sound of waves lapping at the shore of your private beach, or the ping of your phone as another large deposit hits your account. What does wealth smell like to you? Perhaps it's the leather interior of your new car, or the fresh scent of crisp bills. The more details you can add, the more real it will feel to your subconscious mind. Spend about 10-15 minutes each day doing this visualization exercise. Consistency is key here. Just like you wouldn't expect to get fit by going to the gym once, you can't expect to manifest wealth by doing this technique once. Make it a daily habit, like brushing your teeth or checking your emails. Now that you know how to do the technique, you might be wondering why it works. How can simply imagining yourself as wealthy actually lead to real-world changes in your finances? Let's break it down. Goddard's technique is based on the idea that our subconscious mind is incredibly powerful. While our conscious mind is what we use for everyday thinking and decision-making, our subconscious mind is like a supercomputer running in the background. It processes vast amounts of information and shapes our beliefs, habits, and even our reality. When you vividly imagine being wealthy and really feel those positive emotions, you're sending a strong message to your subconscious mind. You're essentially reprogramming it to believe that wealth is your natural state. And here's the amazing thing, your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. So when you do this technique regularly, your subconscious starts to accept this new wealthy reality as truth. Changing your money. Mindset. This technique works because it fundamentally changes how you think about money. Most of us have grown up with certain beliefs about money. Maybe that it's hard to come by, that rich people are greedy, or that we'll never have enough. These beliefs, whether we're conscious of them or not, shape our financial reality. But when you start to imagine yourself as wealthy and feel those positive emotions, you're challenging those old beliefs. You're creating a new money mindset, one of abundance, possibility, and ease. And when your mindset changes, your actions change too. You might start to notice opportunities you would have missed before. You might feel more confident asking for a raise or starting a side business. You might make different decisions about spending and saving. Goddard's technique also taps into what many people call the law of attraction. This is the idea that we attract into our lives whatever we focus on. When you focus on lack and scarcity, you tend to experience more of that. But when you focus on abundance and wealth, you start to attract more of those experiences. It's like tuning a radio. When you're tuned to the poverty station, you only hear messages of lack and limitation. But when you use this technique to tune into the wealth station, you start to pick up on all the abundance that's already around you. You become more attuned to opportunities, ideas, and connections that can lead to greater wealth. There's even a scientific explanation for why this works. In your brain, there's something called the reticular activating system, RAOS. This is like a filter for your brain, helping you focus on what's important and filtering out what's not. When you regularly visualize wealth and feel those emotions of abundance, you're training your RAS to look for opportunities related to wealth and abundance in your everyday life. It's like when you buy a new car and suddenly start seeing that same model everywhere. The cars were always there, but now your brain is tuned to notice them. In the same way, when you do this technique, your brain becomes tuned to notice opportunities for wealth and abundance that were always there, but that you might have missed before. Another reason this technique can be so powerful is that it helps reduce financial stress. When you're constantly worried about money, you're operating from a place of fear and scarcity. This can lead to poor financial decisions and missed opportunities. But when you regularly practice feeling wealthy and abundant, you reduce that stress. You start to approach your finances from a calmer, more confident place, and this alone can lead to better financial choices and outcomes. While Goddard's money manifestation technique can be incredibly powerful, there are some common pitfalls that people often fall into. By being aware of these, you can avoid them and make your practice much more effective. One of the biggest mistakes people make is not truly believing that the technique will work. They go through the motions of visualizing and feeling, but deep down, they're skeptical. Remember, your subconscious mind picks up on these doubts. If you don't believe it will work, you're sending mixed messages to your subconscious, and this can limit your results. To overcome this, start small. Don't try to manifest $1 million right away if that feels unbelievable to you. Start with something that feels more achievable, like manifesting an extra $100. As you see small successes, your belief will grow and you can aim for bigger goals. Another common mistake is doing the technique once or twice and then giving up when they don't see immediate results. Remember, this is about reprogramming your subconscious mind and changing deeply ingrained beliefs about money. That takes time and consistent practice. Think of it like working out. You wouldn't expect to get fit by going to the gym once, right? In the same way, you need to make this technique a daily habit to see real results. Even if you don't see changes right away, trust in the process and keep going. Many people make the mistake of doing the visualization exercise, but then spending the rest of their day worrying about money and focusing on what they lack. This sends conflicting messages to your subconscious and can negate the positive work you're doing in your visualization practice. The key is to maintain a positive money mindset throughout your day. When you catch yourself worrying about money or focusing on lack, gently redirect your thoughts. Remind yourself of the abundant life you're creating. Look for evidence of abundance in your life, no matter how small. Maybe you have a roof over your head, food in your fridge, or a friend who cares about you. Focusing on what you already have can help shift your mindset towards abundance. While visualization and feeling are powerful tools, they're not substitutes for practical action. Some people make the mistake of thinking they can just visualize wealth and then sit back and wait for money to magically appear. Remember, this technique is about opening yourself up to opportunities and changing your relationship with money. But you still need to take action in the real world. If you get inspired with a business idea during your visualization, take steps to make it happen. If you realize you need to learn more about investing, sign up for a course or read some books on the topic. The magic happens when you combine the inner work of visualization with outer action in the world. In our fast-paced world, we often expect instant results. But manifesting significant changes in your financial life usually takes time. Some people give up too quickly because they don't see results right away. Instead of expecting overnight miracles, look for small signs that things are changing. Maybe you find a $20 bill on the street or a friend offers to treat you to lunch. These might seem small, but they're signs that your energy is shifting towards abundance. Celebrate these small wins and know that bigger changes are on the way. Some people feel embarrassed about using a technique like this and keep it a secret. But sharing your goals and practices with supportive friends or family can be really powerful. It makes your intentions more real and can help keep you accountable. Plus, when you talk about abundance and share your excitement about creating wealth, you're reinforcing those positive beliefs in your own mind. You're also putting it out there to the universe that you're ready for more abundance. Just be sure to share with people who will be supportive and positive about your journey. Real-life examples of success. Now that we've covered the technique and common mistakes to avoid, let's look at some real-life examples of people who have used Goddard's money manifestation technique successfully. These stories can inspire you and show you what's possible when you apply this method consistently. Sarah, a 35-year-old teacher, had been struggling with debt for years. She started practicing Goddard's technique every night before bed, visualizing herself debt-free and financially secure. After 3 weeks of consistent practice, she received a letter informing her that an old investment her grandfather had made in her name had matured. The amount was enough to pay off all her debts and start a savings account. Sarah was amazed at how quickly her financial situation turned around once she changed her mindset. Mike had always dreamed of starting his own business, but never felt he had enough money or knowledge to do so. He began using Goddard's technique, visualizing himself as a successful entrepreneur. Within a month, he had a chance encounter with an experienced business mentor who offered to guide him for free. This meeting gave Mike the confidence and knowledge he needed to start his business, which became profitable within its first year. Lisa had been working at the same company for 5 years without a significant raise. She started using Goddard's technique to visualize herself earning more. She focused on feeling the joy and security of having a higher income. 2 months into her practice, her boss called her in for a meeting. To Lisa's surprise, she was offered a promotion with a 30% salary increase. Her boss mentioned that he had noticed her increased confidence and positive attitude over the past couple of months, which had led to this decision. While big lottery wins are rare, John's story shows how Goddard's technique can work in unexpected ways. John had been visualizing financial abundance for several months. One day, on a whim, he bought a lottery ticket, something he rarely did. To his amazement, he won a significant amount. While it wasn't the jackpot, it was enough to pay off his mortgage and start a small business he had been dreaming about. These stories show that Goddard's technique can work in various ways. Sometimes it leads to unexpected windfalls, other times it opens doors to new opportunities, and sometimes it simply helps you recognize and act on chances that were always there. Now that you've seen how powerful this technique can be, let's talk about how to make it a consistent part of your daily life. Remember, the key to success with Goddard's method is regular practice. Choose a time each day when you'll practice your visualization. Some people prefer to do it first thing in the morning to start their day on a positive note. Others find it more effective right before bed. as it allows the visualizations to sink into their subconscious during sleep. Experiment to find what works best for you, but once you decide, stick to that time every day. Turn your practice into a ritual. Maybe you light a special candle, play specific background music, or sit in a particular spot. These cues will signal to your mind that it's time to focus on abundance, making it easier to get into the right mindset. In the beginning, you might forget to do your practice. Set an alarm on your phone or leave notes around your house to remind you. Over time, it will become second nature, but these reminders can be helpful as you're establishing the habit. Keep a journal of your practice and any changes you notice in your life. This can be a great motivator as you start to see shifts in your financial situation and overall mindset. You can enhance the effectiveness of Goddard's technique by combining it with other practices. For example, you might start your visualization session with a few minutes of meditation to calm your mind, or you could follow it up with writing affirmations about wealth and abundance. Remember, changing your financial reality is a process. Some people see results quickly, while for others, it takes more time. The key is to be patient and persistent. Trust in the process and keep going, even if you don't see immediate results. As you practice, you might find certain visualizations or feelings resonate more strongly with you. Don't be afraid to adjust your practice. The more it feels authentic and exciting to you, the more powerful it will be. Consider finding a buddy or joining a group of like-minded individuals who are also practicing manifestation techniques. Sharing your experiences and supporting each other can help keep you motivated and accountable. Neville Goddard's secret money manifestation technique is a powerful tool for transforming your financial life. By consistently visualizing and feeling the reality of being wealthy, you can reprogram your subconscious mind and open yourself up to greater abundance. Remember, this technique is not about magical thinking or ignoring practical financial steps. It's about changing your relationship with money at a deep level. When you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance, you'll start to notice opportunities you might have missed before. You'll feel more confident in your ability to earn and manage money. And you'll be more open to receiving wealth in all its forms. As you embark on this journey, be patient with yourself. Change doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent practice, you can create significant shifts in your financial reality. Start small if you need to, and celebrate every win along the way, no matter how tiny it might seem. The key is to make this practice a regular part of your life. Set aside time each day to visualize your wealthy future and really feel those positive emotions. Let this feeling of abundance infuse your daily life, guiding your decisions and actions. Remember the stories of Sarah, Mike, Lisa, and John. Their experiences show that this technique can work in unexpected and wonderful ways. Stay open to the possibilities and trust that as you change your inner world, your outer world will begin to reflect that change. Financial freedom and abundance are within your reach. With Goddard's technique, you have a powerful tool to help you get there. So why not start today? Take a few minutes right now to close your eyes, visualize your wealthy future, and feel the joy and excitement of financial abundance. This could be the first step towards the wealthy, fulfilling life you've always dreamed of. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Neville Goddard's secret money manifestation technique. I hope you feel inspired and empowered to take control of your financial destiny. Remember, your wealth begins in your mind. Now go out there and create the abundant life you deserve.